Welcome back to Marvel Maniac, an MCU after show. This is Eric Cicada, your host, aka Mr. Honest, and I am losing it. I just watched the finale of WandaVision, and apparently, according to the title, the series finale. Yes, no season 2 for WandaVision. It is in line with all the other titles of this series. Let's just go down a minute and appreciate the names of the episodes. Filmed before our live studio audience, we had Don't Touch That Dial. Now in color, we interrupt this program on a very special episode, all new Halloween Spooktacular, Breaking the Fourth Wall, previously on, and then here we are at the series finale. Now, we're going to have an episode next week where we go over the whole series and review and reflect and, after it simmers a bit, but let's just get right into this episode. So much happened that we need to go back and revisit some of these moments and reflect on them individually, because a lot was thrown at us at once this week. This was the payoff. I know we've had payoff, but this is some of the best stuff we've seen in the MCU yet, in my opinion. I have a feeling the ending may be a little controversial. In terms of what fan expectations have been this season, we've seen a lot of, on the internet, a lot of theories surrounding this Mephisto, and I think that's a good example of how the internet can kind of spin a theory into a desire, and that desire outweigh almost all expectation, and like it maybe can ruin your experience enjoying the show for what it actually is. That being said, I'm not going to assume what people are assuming. I'm watching this for the first time with fresh eyes, and I don't know what people are going to think, but I loved it. And yes, there are answers that were left unanswered. I mean, there were questions that were left unanswered. However, this is the MCU. We're going to find these answers in later films and movies and whatnot, and that is going to be such a great payoff. What an episode. Let's just get started. This was a 49-minute episode. Longest one yet. Let's go. I love the previously ons. It just gets you so hyped up. And Agatha's line, "This is chaos magic, Wanda, and that makes you the Scarlet Witch." It's like, we know that she's the Scarlet Witch, right? But just her saying that just validates so much for us. It's beautiful. What a great moment. And the hype, the word hype is an understatement for how I felt at that moment. So in the previously on, we see it is for sure confirmed, and by like many sources, including New Rockstars, which I will say, I watch their theory videos every week. I'm hooked on their stuff now. It's come down to me watching most of what they put out, not some of their longer stuff, but a lot of their videos. They're very good, very good. So definitely a lot of what I got this week in terms of getting ready for the episode. I was watching them. Shout out to them. Great. Great stuff. So we pick up right where we left off last week. Agatha has both of Wanda's kids strangled by the neck with her purple magic. Strangling them. It's really hard to watch, right? So Agatha yanks the boys to the ground, and Wanda reminds her, "My powers do work here. Did you not forget this?" And Agatha replies, "No, dear, I'm counting on it." And Wanda sends forth a blast that lands Agatha flat on her back. Yes, solid punch, right? We're thinking this is great. However, as we know, this is not so good for Wanda. Wanda tells the kids to go to their room, and they argue for a minute, but then even Agatha says, "Listen to your mother." Like, we know it's about to hit the fan. The boys zoom inside via super speed. Awesome as always. But immediately after that, Wanda hits, we take no breaks. Wanda hits Agatha again with another shot of her scarlet magic. Agatha catches this shot like a baseball, and she says, "I take power from the undeserving. It's kind of my thing." At this point, Wanda looks down at her hand, and it is withered and dark, and it's dying, similar to how we saw many of the other witches look at the trials after Agatha took their powers in the last episode. So while Wanda is looking at her hand, Agatha shoots a blast of energy at her that sends Wanda flat on her back. Agatha, I take a lot of direct quotes from this one because we get a lot of info, and I don't want to miss a beat. You're clearly in over your head, Little Red. She really throws a lot of slide comments out at Scarlet Witch here. We get some shade thrown. So why don't you surrender your magic to someone who knows what to do with it, and I'll let you keep this little pathetic corner of the world to alter yourself. The two of them are gearing up for like another round as Agatha rises to the sky and Wanda harnesses her red magic in her hands. Kind of like slyly, she pulls a car out of nowhere and smashes the heck out of Agatha into the front of a house. Heck yes. Wanda approaches the car, and under it lies Agatha's feet. Very Wizard of Oz. Love the Wizard of Oz reference. Very sick. It's like when Dorothy's house initially lands on that witch, and you see her feet laying out. Wanda looks at the feet, and you can really only see Agatha's boots, so you really know that Agatha's not gone yet. I mean, we're like right at the beginning of the episode, but we don't have time to think about that. Suddenly, in the middle of the street flies down White Vision. Already we're getting into this. Wanda is completely captivated by seeing him again. In my opinion, she knows instantly that's Vision. It's the body of Vision. Just by looking at him, she's in awe. I mean, she gets the sense, right? So she approaches him and asks, "Is it really you?" And he says, "Wanda," and he puts his hand on her face so endearingly, and then it turns awful really fast as he lifts her off the ground and he starts to squeeze her face. I am getting some really bad Game of Thrones flashbacks here. I don't know if you are remembering that scene with the mountain. I'm not going to get into it. It's insane, and I was very worried for Wanda for a second, and evil white synthesoid Vision is like, I was told you were powerful. I was really hoping we'd get some James Spader voice cameo here, but I get why they wouldn't do it. Let's just let Paul Bettany take the role. He is Vision. He's voicing Vision. Let him be the voice box to this Vision. Makes sense. Let's move on. This is the squeezing the head moment goes on way too long. It's like way uncomfortably long until the White Vision is sideswiped by colorful Vision. He drags him through the street onto an RV, like into an RV, which like blows up. You'd think he'd be dead, but if you were a regular robot, this is a vibranium robot, not just your regular robot. This is like the strongest robot ever made. So this thing, he's okay. Meanwhile, Vision turns towards his wife and he says, "Where are the boys?" And she says, "They're in the house. They're safe. But I should have told you, everything the moment I realized what I'd done." And it's a really nice, quick moment. Vision is amazing. He says, "It's all right, Wanda. I know why you made this world." And Wanda says, "I could fix this." Vision's apprehensive as he's saying this. And there's this kind of unspoken thing of Wanda is going to have to do right here in this episode and be a hero or be this villain, and let Agatha manipulate her. And we see what happens. And so Agatha pops up again and she says, "Well, this is awkward. Your ex-boyfriend and your boyfriend are together at the same party. Which one are you going to choose, Wanda?" Antagonizing as White Vision approaches. Slow walk, flame in background look. I ain't even mad. It was awesome. Wanda turns to Vision. She says, "Vision, this is our home." She says this so confidently, and he says, "Let's fight for it then." So he takes flight. He tackles his counterpart, and they fly into the air while Wanda flies in a different direction towards Agatha. That's towards the water tower now. So right now we're with this Quicksilver, the bad or Hex Quicksilver at this time, we don't know. We do end up finding out a lot of information about this. We'll get into that in a little bit. Either way, he has Monica hostage. He's playing guitar. He's hilarious. Evan Peters what comedic relief, even as a bad guy. Quicksilver, I love him, so funny. He's playing guitar, and he sees Monica. He sees Monica see the action outside, and she starts to run. So like he flashes ahead of her and just basically pushes her on the nose, and she falls back. And we cut back. There's a lot of cutting back and forth here. We cut back to both the Visions rumbling and tumbling in the sky. Regular Vision asks if they can resolve this peacefully. You find this kind of funny at first. Vision is a smooth talker, though. We find out Vision knows how to talk to robots. So we'll leave that there for now. Love this. I just love this so much. White Vision says Wanda Maximoff must be neutralized and you must be destroyed. And he reaches in for the stone, reminiscent of the Thanos grab into that head. We will never not think of something so traumatic. But not this time. Vision phases through other Vision, and then they kind of like phase together and smash down into the road. There's a lot of ups and downs here. This is an insane fight. You can go back probably and watch and catch different things. This is a fight for the books. Okay, they go back in the sky, and then we cut back, and Hayward is tracking them fighting. And this is where we see Wu. He's being brought in handcuffs, and he's kind of trying to play Hayward here in a bit to get some outside help, and he does a really good job of it. Hayward is attempting to reach the other Vision while he's fighting Colorful Vision, and one of his agents says that his system is overloaded and they can't get through to him. So, there's already signs that we have a Ultron level threat right now. Hayward is in dangerous territory. Who gave this guy his job post-snap? Who was there to give him this job? And why does he have it? Who vetted him? We need answers, people. Hayward ain't cool. Hayward is wrong. Wow. While this is happening, Wu swipes the phone off that desk, and he, to kind of cover up what he's doing, he's saying, "You'll never be able to cover this up," to Hayward. And Hayward just opens right up to Wu, and he says, "I won't have to. Wanda canceled her show, so there's no footage proving there was ever more than one Vision." So Wu argues there's Sword HQ security tapes, and there's tampering with evidence here, no doubt. I love Wu's matter of fact. I freaking love Wu. More Wu. Give me a Wu spin-off show. I'll watch it. I may be the only one. You know what? I think we'd all be here. Am I wrong? Come on. We'd watch Wu. Maybe not in his own show, but bring us more. I'll take more Wu. I'll take him on any given day. Hayward says no one will care once Wanda is eliminated. He says that the Vision that he made will be assumed to be the real one that Wanda brought back to life. So he's going to try and put this all on Wanda. Hayward thinks he'll be basically a hero for bringing such a valuable asset back, as he says. You could be part of that, Jimmy, only if you had a little more vision. We got a dad joke from Hayward. Falls a little flat. Even Wu's like, funny. He says that he has friends at Quantico, and they'll have something to say about his plan when they arrive in about an hour. And Hayward's like, "You're bluffing." And Wu replies, "Am I?" And Wu and his magic come in handy again. A little bit later, he uses a safety pin to get out of his handcuffs, which is very smooth. Scott Lang would be proud, Wu. I know he would. Wu takes out the phone to place a call. He called someone named Cliff. He's calling to get someone there within inside the hour. So he wasn't bluffing as long as he had that phone. It was the truth. So back to Wanda. She lowers herself to the center of town, and she sees Herb and Norm chatting in the modern day clothes. And it all seems normal. It's just like a regular day in the neighborhood. And Dennis, the delivery guy, drives by and says, "Don't shoot, I'm just a messenger," as always. I always got a weird vibe from him, but he's just another citizen. He's just very charismatic. Wanda gets hit in the back by another purple shot from Agatha. And then Agatha says that Wanda has never been up against another witch before. And she asks her, did you know that there's an entire chapter devoted to you in the Darkhold? Which is it's a big deal. This has been part of the fan theories I've been seeing in the new Rockstars and whatnot. I'm giving them literally all the credit. I just know I've heard it there, so I don't want to. I'm not taking from anyone. I'm on the theory train. I threw a little Dr. Phil accent in there. I'm sorry. This is definitely from the comics, and so it's been speculated to be the book that Agatha had in her lair. The speculated book from the Doctor Strange Missing collection, which I don't know if that's necessarily it being the Darkhold, right? Still, not sure if it's that book from Doctor Strange, but I'm pretty sure it's not. I don't know. It could be a separate book. She just says that's the Book of the Damned. Agatha conjures the book right in front of her, and she reads, "The Scarlet Witch is not born, she is forged. She has no coven, no need for incantation. And that's it. She has no coven, no need for incantation." And Wanda's like, I'm not a witch, I don't cast spells, and nobody taught me magic. This is where I'm seeing Wanda starting to play Agatha a little bit. She's starting to see what kind of hand she's going to have to play against Agatha. And it's going to be that she's not learned anything, when in fact she knows quite a bit. Agatha underestimates Wanda so much, and that's her downfall in her villain, in her being a villain. The power exceeds that of the Sorcerer Supreme. It is your destiny to destroy the world, Agatha says. And Wanda replies, I'm not what you say I am. Oh, really? And Agatha aims her palms of purple, her purple magic at Dottie down in town. And Dottie's eyes light up, and she approaches Wanda, and she starts saying things like, I have a daughter and she's 8, and maybe she could be friends with your boys if you like that storyline, or the school bully, or you could just let her out of her room and I could just hold her, please. And it's so sad and depressing. Wanda tells Agatha that she's making Dottie say these things, and Agatha legit, she's like, look, she does some magic and everyone in town lets go and is woken up. She's like, I'm merely just cutting the strings to these meat puppets here. Also, Mrs. Hart starts to approach Wanda. Everyone in town starts to approach her intensely. Back at Agatha's house, we cut back to Pietro making a smoothie, and Monica stumbles across a bill addressed to someone named Ralph, Bohner. Ralph Boner. She tells him, she then finds a headshot that confirms this is Pietro. This pretty much says and closes a lot of doors to what people and fans were hoping to be the introduction of the X-Men into the MCU. And I love the meta. I love the meta, but I'm slightly sad. About this. However, I do love the homage. I love the meta. I love that Evan Peters is in the MCU, and it's just something to think about. It doesn't close the door to much in terms of multiverse and where that's going. I mean, we have a movie called The Multiverse of Madness coming out, and you know who's on that cast list? Elizabeth Olsen. I don't know to what extent, but she's going to be in that movie. And from where we are, leave the end of this episode, I think she's going to be in full form in that movie. We'll see. So Monica is checking out Ralph Boner, aka current Quicksilver, who's just a deviant. And his eyes turn blue once she pulls this necklace off of him, and she totally sees the fact that this necklace on him is pretty much has him in a trance. We cut back to both Visions fighting, now with the lasers, like their laser head fighting over Westview. It's insane. And at this point, I'm only 10 minutes in, and so much has happened. So at this point in the episode, I was only 10 minutes in. Believe that or not, all that action in 10 minutes. Synthezoid White Vision, he chases regular Vision through the streets and destroys a whole street with his laser beam, trying to hit him. Billy and Tommy are watching this through the window of their room. Billy sees then flashes of Agatha using her magic in town on the townspeople, and then he sees the residents closing in on Wanda, who screams. So they seem pretty concerned. We got back to Wanda and the townspeople. All the townsfolk are starting to question her very intensely here, and that they can't. So, like, Herb says he can't remember why he's there anymore, and Wanda tries to convince them that they'll all be fine, and she says that she's kept them safe in here, and that she says they feel at peace. She's trying to tell them how they feel. It's scary that Wanda doesn't know what she's doing, and but it's also good because she intentionally did not hurt these people. This was a literal cosmic mess up of emotions, and she couldn't control it, and she lost herself in her powers. So Wanda is really shook by all these people confronting her. And Mrs. Hart says, "We feel your pain and your grief. It's poisoning us." Wanda loses control, and she puts a chokehold over everyone so they can't move. Very like forced, choke. She's choking everybody. Once she realizes what she's doing, this is kind of the wake-up call for her to realize what she's doing, and she lets them go. Mrs. Hart says, "If you don't let us go, just let us die." This is the saddest thing in the world. And Wanda is very emotional. Like I said, she says, "I will let you go. I'll let you go." She's so shook, and it's clear that she didn't intend to hurt these people. And they are very hurt and shook. It's just a lot of emotions running very high right now. Agatha all along up there. Meanwhile, what's stopping you to use your power and do it now? Agatha says, "Heroes don't torture people." I wish Wanda recognized how bad Agatha wants to use her powers like this. But in retrospect, I think she's catching on. At this moment, I'm very concerned about Agatha taking Wanda's powers. The show's doing its job. I was very, very invested at this moment. I mean, I was so engaged in this episode. I had to do so many rewinds to really get a lot of the dialogue. At this moment, Wanda explodes in a similar way we saw her do in the flashback of the last episode when she formed the hex, the initial hex. Her power hits the top of the boundary and rips the hex open almost on all ends. She tells the people to leave, so everyone starts running. And then we cut through the town in these awesome shots. The town is glitching through different periods of time. This is insane. Hayward, we cut to him outside, and he sees this obviously as an opportunity and says, "We're going in." Motor vehicles roll in. We see this amazing long shot down the street into the town towards Wanda, who is exerting her power, blasting it through the roof of this hex. I mean, huge. And then we cut over past Wanda, over Agatha on the billboard, and then on the horizon above the trees, we see the two visions fighting each other in the sky. Meanwhile, the scarlet haze is in the sky in the background. This is the type of MCU stuff that I love. These long, continuous shots where we see everything come together. This show is everything. I'm talking about when Iron Man in First Avengers is flying around the corner, and then he sees Cap and Thor taking out people, and then you see Hawkeye on the roof, and it's just one long shot. We got one of these in this episode, and it was just sick to see. The visions are fighting as the hex is being broken apart. They blast their beams at each other from the head beam attack. They're going at it. White Vision's beam is white, and regular colored Vision's beam is yellow, like the Mind Stone. At this point, Vision starts to deteriorate, similar to how he did a few episodes ago. So this ain't going away. Vision starts to really get torn up here. I've seen this robot in way too much pain. It never ends. This is the strongest, most, has the strongest willpower, the biggest heart, and he doesn't deserve this over and over again. It's terrible. So, meanwhile, a convoy of military vehicles starts heading into the boundary. After Vision started deteriorating, he fell towards the ground, and he landed next to a street when Wanda looks at him, and as he gets up, the particles drift off him, and he reaches out towards her, and he breaks further and further apart. And then even worse, Billy and Tommy show up, and they start to break apart too. And then Agatha shows up at all these key moments, and she says, "Now you see, you've tied your family to this twisted world, and not one can exist without the other." Agatha says, "Save Westview or save your family? Which one?" And Wanda watches in absolute horror as her sons and Vision just shred apart. This is really hard to watch. This is not the way anyone will want to go. It's very traumatic. It's too much for Wanda, to the point where she brings the hex back down on itself. This brings Vision back to normal and the kids back to normal. Wu sees the hex close again from the outside. Vision and the kids help Wanda back up, get back on her feet. Agatha blasts the family immediately with a big ray of power, and Wanda creates a shield. But this allows Agatha to take magic from Wanda. It's not pretty. She looks down at her hands, and they're both completely dark with the life sucked out of them. All at once, at this moment, the alternate Vision and Agatha show up, and then the military surround them with Hayward. So they assume superhero stance. Hayward watches from inside a vehicle like the coward that he is. Vision says to the boys that they never prepared them for this, but Wanda says that they were born for it. Epic moment. Vision is tackled in that moment by the other Vision in through the wall of a library. We think it's about to go down again, but here we go. Vision's going in for another talk. And we're like, "Vision, you're gonna don't do this." Vision asks, "Why are you doing this?" And the other Vision, White Vision, says, "My programming directive is to destroy the Vision." Very robotically, very deeper voice. This Vision's creepy, but he's awesome as heck, isn't he? Sick. Anyways, they start to fight some more up until the colored Vision gets the White Vision into a chokehold, and he tells him that, "I'm not the true Vision. I'm only a conditional Vision." And the other Vision's like, "I request elaboration." And I'm like, oh my god, this Vision is gonna convince the other Vision who he really is. I'm like, what? Even at this moment, I was thinking about that all this week. I was thinking about that. Can we get the other Vision back, or is he gonna turn into Ultron? One or the other, right? The soldiers point their weapons at Agatha, and she conjures magic around them and lifts them up into the air. Same story, different century. She says there'll always be torches and pitchforks for ladies like us, Wanda. Now she's boating them together again. All over the place, Agatha all along. Freaking great song, still bopping in my head. Agatha drops the soldiers, and Wanda catches them with her magic, saving them. She tells the boys to handle the military, which they seem really excited about, and she flies up to Agatha to meet her in the air yet again for another bout. Agatha throws blast at Wanda, and Wanda epically dodges and then does this really swift disappearance into the air, which throws Agatha visually. Billy freezes the soldiers while Tommy zooms around them and grabs all their guns. But this gets Hayward to get out of his car and actually try to shoot the kids. He goes to shoot the kids. This monster. Monica bounces out in front of the boys, and this golden glow appears in her eyes. And literally, Hayward tried to shoot Billy again, and she stops the bullets. Insane. It's insane. And there's a nice exchange. I like your tricks. I like yours too. I love it. Monica and the kids. It's very sweet. Sweet moment. Monica gets to meet these kids. She gets Wanda. Darcy slams into Hayward with the funnel truck, and she says, "Have fun in prison." And I believe this is close to, if not the last time we see Hayward, the jerk. Thank you, Darcy. And maybe the last time we see Darcy, believe it or not. She finished Hayward off, and that's it for Darcy for the season, which is fine. We needed Hayward gone. I mean, we're going to see more Darcy. I just know it. Most likely in the next Thor movie. So I wasn't going to direct quote this next part, but then as I watched it, I'm like, this is so important and it's so deep. So I did quote Vision here. They're circling each other, kind of mirroring each other a little bit. And regular colored Vision says, "Are you familiar with the thought experiment, the ship of Theseus, in the field of identity metaphysics?" The other Vision replies, "Naturally, the ship of Theseus is an artifact in the museum. Over time, its planks of wood rot to be replaced with new planks. When no original plank remains, is it still the shape of Theseus? Is it still, the same boat?" And then regular Vision replies, "Secondly, if those removed planks are restored and then reassembled, free of the rot, is that ship still the ship of Theseus?" The other Vision replies, "Neither is true. Both are the true ship." Now this is so meta, and I had to rewind it a couple times to just kind of hear what they were saying. A lot of big words there, but beautiful dialogue between these two synthesoids. Wow, Paul Bettany, great performance. Beautiful performance from Elizabeth Olsen as well this episode. What a season. Oh my Lord. I'm just going to say that mid-episode. Well, then we are in agreement, says Colored Vision. White Vision says he doesn't have the Mind Stone, and then Colored Vision says he does not have 1 single ounce of original material. White Vision says he has not retained any memory, and Vision says that he has retained data and it is merely being kept from him. He reaches out and touches him on the head, just as he did the other townspeople, to kind of clear their minds. White Vision moves towards Vision willingly. He lets him touch his head. When Vision touches the stone on his head, the memories start popping up. It's Vision fighting Ultron and Thanos walking towards him. We see the Mind Stone being destroyed. A huge montage of all the awesome Vision and some Wanda moments in the MCU. Epic awakening here. The blue glow from White Vision's eyes dissipates, and both Visions in mirror of each other. they share like a nice moment. The colorless Vision speaks and says, "Oh my gosh." I'm freaking out. He's like, "I am Vision," and he blasts to the roof. And oh my God, yes, what the hell, yes. Vision is back and he's gone. Who knows where he went? But there's an awakening in him, and he is out. We don't see him again. That's it. Last time we see him. Whole episode. Insane. I liked it. It gives me hope. We're going to see more Paul Bettany, more Vision in one light or another. We do know from certain online videos at this point, I will just say, I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to technically spoil MCU stuff, but in the comics, Vision does take a white form and loses memories. Watch New Rockstars. I'm going to keep saying it because they have some great videos on this stuff. Some of the history of the comics, which is always fun to know. So Wanda's Vision emerges out of the library back into the town square. Agatha watches from above, and suddenly Wanda sneaks up behind her and casts a spell in her head, and it brings her back to Salem on the stake. The dead witch Coven that Agatha sucked the life off of. She looks at the fallen leader that she killed. Wanda starts circling her. Really badass scene. We start off seeing Wanda in control for the first time over Agatha after all this kind of manipulation on Agatha's end. And in reflection and watching, episodes back, you see it. Agatha was there all along, pulling the strings. And Wanda points this out. She says, you see, the difference between you and me is that you did this on purpose. Great point, Wanda. Wonderful point. The witches start to come back to life, and for a second it seems like Agatha is scared, but then that look wipes right off her face, and the other witches basically demonize and turn towards Wanda. All the witches, they turn towards her and say, you are a witch. They're screaming things at her, like they're calling her the Scarlet Witch. And as several witches hold onto her, a ghostly shaped red headdress forms around her head. The first sign, Agatha, pure terror, actually looks scared. Again, pure fear. Agatha says to give her power, and she will correct the flaws of her original spell and let Wanda live in peace in Westview. She will never have to feel this pain again, Agatha and her promises. Wanda sends out a shockwave at this point that sends back the witches, all the witches that were on her. She tackles Agatha and they move out of this, mental headspace into the real world, back into town square. This battle goes to Dragon Ball Z levels of awesome here. Now, we don't stop. Wanda keeps shooting red power balls at Agatha. And she says, take it, I don't want it, take my power. And then Vision even flies up to Wanda and he gets held back by her with a big red shield, and as he tries to approach her. And Wanda keeps shooting and casting magic at Agatha, and Agatha keeps absorbing it every time it gets hit. Every time she gets hit, she keeps absorbing this magic. Vision flies back down to the kids and just starts holding them real close. And the fight is intense and awesome and visually one of the best things I've seen in the MCU to date. I freaking loved it. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it 5 more times. I don't know. I'm so happy with this show. What great character development for Wanda Maximoff, now Scarlet Witch. Just so good. What a great fight. Wanda keeps firing shots. They keep missing Agatha at this point, and the shots that she's missing are like hitting the barrier. The whole sky's completely scarlet red, and Agatha says she wants more power from Wanda, and Wanda just keeps on giving it to her. Wanda is starting to look extremely drained. You see her face lose complex, and she starts to become lifeless like the other witches that Agatha sucked the power out of. I'm like, oh no, this is troublesome. I'm worried for Wanda. What if Wanda, there's nothing saying Wanda can't die. There was nothing saying Wanda couldn't die. Could have been a very sad ending if that happened. She yet continues to blast Agatha with barrages of magic. And Agatha starts to pull like all of this magic from Wanda, and literally a full-on force gets pulled from her red energy, and she goes completely limp. Agatha takes every last bit of magic from Wanda, and she says, about our deal, it can never be changed. The world you made will always be broken, just like you, always throwing those bombs. Agatha attempts to hit Wanda with a final blow. But holy plot twist, Wanda has been fooling even us. Like giant runes begin to form everywhere on each end of the hacks. In a given space, only the witch who casts them can use her magic, the spells. Thanks for the lesson. Agatha nods resignedly. But I don't need you to tell me who I am. The way Elizabeth Olsen delivers this line. She should win an award. Beautiful. The red headdress forms around her head, and she draws all the magic back out of Agatha. Agatha screams in agony as all the magic goes back into Wanda, and there is a ton of it. The fight was intense, but this is the moment where Wanda wins it. This light around Wanda glazes brightly, and it almost completely consumes her. And coming out of this light, it was the vision we saw last week, the devil horns. Some of you might have probably were freaking out about Mephisto, but this is Wanda turning into the Scarlet Witch. She looks cooler and awesomer and hotter than she ever has. She's sick. Her eyes glowing red. The headdress, it's just killer. The outfit is killer. Immediately Agatha's like, oh my god, you don't know what you've done. The magic in Wanda's palm now looks like stronger than ever. It's got like black streaks running through it. She's powerful. She's leveled up. They lower to the ground, and I can't emphasize how amazing this outfit looks. I'm just like, it's freaking awesome. I think it's gonna break the internet. I seriously do. She looks so great, and wow, full form Scarlet Witch, insane. Loved it. Wanda says that she will give Agatha the role that she chose originally, the nosy neighbor. Agatha proceeds to call Wanda a coward, and she claims that Wanda will need her. And Wanda says if she does, she'll know just where to find her. And she turns Agatha back into Agnes. And I have to say, it's good to have her perky personality back. Neighbor. It would appear our dream home has been reduced to a fixer-upper. Vision says, I know you'll set everything right, just not for us. Wanda, Vision, and the kids walk away and head back home before Wanda exchanges a look with Monica, an endearing look, which I like. I thought it was very nice seeing these characters interact in a positive way for a change. Very, very sweet. Not the last time this episode, believe it or not, the view from outside Westview shows the Hex reducing. We see the circus. It turns back to the normal army camp. We see signs, street signs. The Westview sign changes back to normal. Inside, Wanda and Vision tuck the boys in, and Vision says that he's very proud of them. This is just too much. This is the saddest thing in the entire world, but this is what makes a freaking amazing show amazing. Wanda says that family is forever, and we can never truly leave each other, even if we tried. I'm gonna cry. This is one of the most beautiful freaking series of events I've seen in the MCU. Emotionally intense and hard to watch. The window above Tommy's room shows the boundary closing in, and Wanda thanks Billy and Tommy for choosing to be her mom. The boundary crosses the town square, transforming night into day. So in the boundary, it's within the Hex, it's night, and outside it's day. The funnel cake truck changes back into a military vehicle. The theater marquee changes, and the energy field passes over everything. Back in the house, we see a framed photo of the family, and it sits on a table behind the couch. Wanda begins to turn all the lights off, and then Vision says, he turns one back on, and he says that he read somewhere it's bad luck to say goodbye in the dark. And Wanda calls him out on that, and that's a lie. And that is a lie. They grin at each other. These two have the best chemistry. I love the chemistry between these two actors, Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen. This performance goes beyond and above anything you could expect from a superhero movie, comic book origin. What the heck? I love this show. Vision just said he wanted to see Wanda clearly, and that here she is, right in front of him. And Vision says, Wanda, I know I can't stay like this, but before I go, I must know, what am I? And Wanda says, Vision, you are the piece of the Mind Stone that lives in me. You are a body of wires and blood and bone that I created. You are my sadness and my hope. But mostly you're my love. Come on. Who's crying? Any tears? Vision reaches out to kiss her with it. He wipes the tears. She wipes the tear from him down his cheek. It is so beautiful. I have been a voice with no body, a body but not human, and now a memory made real. Who knows what I might be next, he says. I share a really nice exchange, and he says, you said goodbye before, so it stands to reason, and she covers it and says, we'll say hello, we may say hello again. And the couple, their gaze remains locked as the house changes throughout the decades around them, and this beautiful visual scenes surrounding them. Vision starts to deteriorate into the gold dust like we saw when he was formed. Vision says, so long, darling, and Wanda stands alone in the foundation of her house, just alone. One moment later, and I am really sad that the kids didn't make it, but we do hear a hint that they may be back in a post-credit scene. By the way, 2 post-credit scenes, if you didn't catch them. There's one regular, like after the first credits, but then one at the very end. So before you move on, I'm going to let you know now, go back and watch that if you haven't seen it yet. It's nothing too intense or crazy or revealing, but it is something. Oh my gosh. So Wanda walks past back through town and with her hood up, and you see all the people she had once possessed, and they're giving her very dirty looks, and she walks back up to Monica, and she says, Monica says, they'll never know what you sacrificed for them. And Wanda's like, you don't hate me? And Monica replies, given the chance and given your power, I would bring my mom back. I know I would. Wanda apologizes for all the pain she caused, and Monica says she knows. And I just love this exchange. Monica was always there, believing in Wanda, for Wanda, as one of those Avengers would have that aren't there anymore. Like I saw a meme saying, it wasn't really a meme, but it was saying Black Widow would have been there for Wanda in this, and it's good that Wanda has somebody like Monica and all this that just believed in her and didn't see her as a villain, and gave her that chance. I love Monica Rambeau. What a fantastic character. Wanda says, I don't understand this power, but I will. And she transforms back into the Scarlet Witch and flies off. She passes the roadside and looks back at Westview, the sign, and that's it. She flies off, and then the credits roll. We have a Scarlet Witch out in the world, and she is on the run. Oh my gosh. But that is not all. We have a post-credit scene. Okay, so Wu is helping get the town back together. We see Hayward getting escorted away in handcuffs. I don't think he knows any magic tricks. Only Wu is going to be the one getting out of handcuffs in this episode. Adios, Hayward. I wonder if we'll see him again. I could see him become some sort of Spider-Man villain or whatever. He's evil. Monica is brought to the theater because someone's waiting for her. The person waiting for her said she was sent by an old friend of her mother's. I heard you've been grounded. She transforms into a scroll, and she says he wants to meet you to Monica. Monica's like, where? And Monica asks, and the scroll points up towards the sky, and we get a really optimistic Monica going to space. So we got some scroll Monica stuff hinting towards the next Captain Marvel moving. I'm assuming there's a lot to think about on that. But this is where I'm very happy we got another post-credit scene. Marvel does pay off on their final episodes, and I don't know how many of you missed it, so go watch it. Very last end minute of this episode, all past all the credits. We move over snowy mountaintops. It's a very visually stunning shot, completely other part of the world. A lot of people thought we were going to get a Doctor Strange appearance in this episode. Nothing from Doctor Strange. I'm okay with that. This was Wanda's story. We didn't need any cameos aside from the story that was given to us. We will get Doctor Strange in the next Doctor Strange movie, and it's possible in any of the other shows. Wanda sits in the front steps of the cabin, on the front steps, and she walks back in, and then she's just doing stuff in the house. But then we continue past her into the back room, where we see a ghost version of her in Scarlet Witch form studying the Darkhold. She's got this red glow in her eyes, and you can hear her kids calling for help. So she still has her kids in there. A piece of the Mind Stone is in her. this is so reminiscent of Doctor Strange when he's studying outside of his own body. Scarlet Witch has a similar power in that magic, and you can totally see how that's leaning towards Doctor Strange and us going into the next phase of this, with Scarlet Witch being a bigger factor here. So as we've been doing the last couple of weeks, I've really liked doing this. I like to go to Reddit and see some of the top fan comments on there. So I'm going to credit the names, and we're going to go through some of what the internet's thoughts are, the instant thoughts we get right now. All right, so we got a comment from Infinite Abyss. It says, I love that it came down to big brain time. Reply from Maximum Effort 433. Ditto that Vision. Well, the Visions both stayed true to their characters. In quotes, can we talk about this for a second? Yes, I love that. Okay, Vision fight, two computers, archaeological thought experiment, GGG3. Yes, hilarious. We have SMA2343, Wanda fighting for her life. Vision, let's say for the sake of argument, the ship and planks of woods, and hypothetically you would remove the planks of wood, and for the sake of argument you agree. Yeah, that was very intricate. To be fair, Legendary Badass says this is exactly how Vision would argue, and I agree. I love that. My username is Judge says Vision Ben Shapiroing his own opponent into killing himself. Priceless. Bemorte says, how many times are they going to make us watch Vision die? Thank you, Bemorte. What the living heck? In the next comment, Aerosmith says, who has more deaths, Vision or Loki, Edit or Coulson? CBN replied, Uncle Ben. One or two more comments. This is good stuff. It's Bricky says, the way Scarlet Witch is studying the Darkhold reminds me of how Doctor Strange was sleeping when he was metaphysically reading in Doctor Strange. As I just said, yes, very good point. Mike Kills Dunk replies, I think it's the same sort of magic, astral projection. Les Nickel Fritz replies, so her sitting on the porch and walking in the house was her physical body, and the one reading the Darkhold was her spirit, right? Mike replies, yep, just like how Doctor Strange's body was sleeping and his projection was studying in his Kumartage. Yes, that is so sick. I love that. Last comment I'm going to read. Wow, her Scarlet Witch costume looks amazing. They actually did it. I love Pineapple Pizza 7 said. Nin James says, I was pretty satisfied. They outdid themselves with the hood and the cape. My God, masterful. It was masterful. It was amazing. It was insane. What did you guys think? Now, this is the season finale. We made it. This is Marvel Maniac. I want to thank you guys for literally making my life, which has been up, down, left, right, before starting this podcast, starting it out of whim, and all the love and support and positive feedback I've gotten from you, the audience. You've led me to just want to keep making episodes of Marvel Maniac and MCU After Show, and I am proud and happy to announce, which I have before, but I'm going to say it again. In 2 weeks from this date of this podcast, Falcon and Winter Soldier drops on March 19th, and we're going to cover every episode and every minute, and we're going to be digging into it. And we also have, right after that finishes airing, on June 11th, 2021, Loki is coming out. We have a year packed full of Wanda. I'm not over this. I usually delete myself saying something like that, but I'm going to keep it in there. I'm not ready to lose Wanda. I'm not ready to lose this show. This show changed my life in a positive way, in a sense that it got me to start this podcast, and me being so excited for it. And week in and week out, there have been twists, turns, lefts, rights, ups, downs, in terms of Marvel content, in terms of fan service, in terms of paying homage to a character or two that we haven't gotten to see enough on screen. I am in awe of WandaVision, and I hope you guys enjoyed the finale episode. We are not done talking about this season yet. We have 2 weeks before Falcon and Winter Soldier, so we are going to do season wrap-up next week, a week from today, on Marvel Maniac, an MCU after show. We're going to talk about the season as a whole, what we thought about it, what this can mean for the characters in this series going forward, and maybe some just general MCU discussion and where the next series, Falcon and Winter Soldier, is going to go, Loki might go, and we're just going to kind of gear up for the rest of what is to come. I can't thank you enough for being here. Marvel Maniac and MCU after show. If you have thoughts, I want to hear what you think. We got one episode for this series. Not that we won't be referencing it again, but we're going to be talking about it all. We're going to hash it all out. And 1 week from now, once it's sizzled, it's set on the grill, back plate a little bit. No more food metaphors. Give me a Hulk taco. Shut me up. We're going to be just reflecting, and on one of the best shows I've watched in recent years. If you have thoughts, marvelmaniacpod@gmail.com. We're Marvel Maniac Pod on Twitter. I'm at Eric Cicada, SEQUEIRA on Twitter. We do accept donations at Mr. Honest Podcast on PayPal. Everything goes right back into the show. I respect you as an audience, and I promise I will continue to give you as good a Marvel content as I can. I do it like Cap strapping a shield to his arm. I'm into this. I freaking love talking Marvel. I hope you enjoy listening. I hope this bundle of energy wasn't too much for you right now. Believe it or not, it's 6:32 a.m. as I'm posting this, but I couldn't be more excited to be sharing this excitement with y'all. Let's see where this goes. Marvel MCU Phase 4, Marvel Maniac, and MCU After Show. How many times am I going to say it? I have no idea. You're an amazing audience member. Get back at me. Wherever you're listening, rate and review the show. It goes a long way. And until next time, Avengers, disassemble.